Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Happy Bringling. Namaste, and welcome everyone to the Design Your Unicorn Tuesdays here on Bringle Talks. Every Tuesday, we will decode how to transform small ideas into billion-dollar companies within 3 to 5 years' time. Using our proprietary methodology, Design Your Unicorn framework, and also we'll be bringing some entrepreneurs who have been successfully working out and been there as an entrepreneur, sharing their journey and stories. And today's episode is extra special because we are not just introducing the heart and soul behind many of our, behind our venture capital and social venture fund, which is Dr. Vinaya out here. Dr. Vinaya, welcome to Design Your Unicorn Bringle Talks Tuesday.
Namaste. Thank you for having me here on this Tuesday morning.
And before I start, I would like to wish you a very happy birthday in advance because tomorrow is your birthday, and this Bringle Talks is going to be going live on 23rd of September. So we will definitely have a celebration on tomorrow for your birthday, but today we are just wishing you in advance.
Thank you. Thank you for that wishes and overwhelmed with that. Thank you.
So Dr. Vinaya is an educationist with over 27 years of experience in child and cognitive psychology, leadership roles across top schools of India, consulting with CBSE, training thousands of teachers through Orient Black Swan and many others. She has worked with institutions like BPS, NPS, and many other leading international schools. She's the founder of Soulful Smiles in Bangalore, co-founder with me in Bringle, and where we run preschool and after school programs. Together, we launched our first social venture fund of 50 lakhs with a minimum participation of just 50,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees per month for 12 months, creating passive income returns of 10 to 20% annually while providing free equality education to 100 plus privileged children in Rotary, Bangalore. She's also been instrumental in setting up the angel investment masterclasses across the five regions of the country, and also have introduced me to Rotary International, where I now serve as a director international services, and she herself is a president-elect of Rotary Bangalore Jeevan Bhimanagar. She's actively working to open a new Rotary club in Vartur along with me. From writing, composing, and singing the anthem Awakening the Golden Bird to organizing the 5 angel investment meets across India, Dr. Vinaya continues to be a force of vision, compassion, and execution. And it's my privilege to welcome my co-founder, my partner, and dear friend, Dr. Vinaya, to this first episode of Design Your Unicorn Tuesdays with a different story out there. Welcome, Dr. Vinaya.
Namaste, and thank you for having me here on this day.
Okay, so Dr. Vinaya, let's begin with your roots. You've been an educator for nearly 3 decades with deep expertise in psychology, and that's such a unique foundation for entrepreneurship. How did your journey in education become, and what inspired you to specialize in child and cognitive psychology? Why do you think that education also required entrepreneurship bit of an ideas, and why did you think about, becoming an entrepreneur and creating and working on these kind of venture capital and social venture funds?
My journey started with a lot of curiosity and understanding from the children there, and I always wanted that to be there and learn and think about how the children think about it. How would they learn about it? And that was only way for me to learn more about them, their mindset, which helped me I'll say my learning helped me to understand all of that. Early in my career, I also understood that education is not just about teaching content, but it is also about, as you always say, unlocking the potential from the children.
True.
So that led me to specialize in, child and cognitive psychology. However, I could now understand it much more better, and I really believe that I was able to help out a lot more children build their confidence, their creativity, and also a bit of resilience in them, which kind of is missing out now.
So you worked with top schools across India as principal, consultant, CBSE resource person. What patterns did you see in education that shaped your philosophy of smile, dream, and achieve? And what advice would you give it to today's educators who are trying to balance tradition with innovation?
See, across all the institutions where I have worked and made a difference, either as a trainer, as a resource person, or as a principal, as a teacher, coordinator, whichever role, or as a volunteer, you say, I only saw that the children feel flourished when they feel valued. Everywhere. The kids are same, no matter you go to any top schools or you go to any government school, they're going to be the same. So when you smile, I feel that we create a safety zone for them. When I say that we want to give them a dream, or I say that dream, that creates a design in there or a direction in their mind. And achievement, of course, it will come naturally when the two strong foundations are there. That's a safeties and that's a direction. That's why I always in anywhere, even if in my training places, resource person, anywhere I have gone, I have always used this mantra to smile, dream and achieve, because this has become a guiding mantra for me, not only in my journey as an educator but also as a journey of entrepreneur. And I'll only try to give that very small and one small advice to all of the out there who are actually an educator and trying to balance. Keep the tradition in the heart and values in your ethics and respect it. And if you have these three things in line, incline, the curiosity and experimentation which you constantly do will automatically come. Encourage, if you're a leader, encourage your teachers and your students to question themselves before questioning somebody else, and try and learn from whatever mistakes you have done. Never be worried, never be scared, never be ashamed of doing a mistake, because mistakes will only make me much more better, is what I feel. I have done n number of mistakes in my life, and that's where I feel I stand where I am standing today, and that's an authentic way where innovation can be born.
Lovely. I think you've given a very beautiful way, in a beautiful way, explanation about how to be an entrepreneur, even being an educator. Because entrepreneur does a lot of mistakes, and if they're bothered about their mistakes, they will never grow. They will never reach, or they will never be able to create their unicorn. But I think these small things which you have taught, which probably these entrepreneurs have learned from these teachers, but those teachers themselves have probably stayed there. And every educator, if they think like an entrepreneur, they can make more and more entrepreneurs out there. That's where we call about entrepreneurial mindset. It's not about doing a job or something, but to have, not to have a job mindset. How can you create more entrepreneurs out there? How can you have that mindset that even within being a job, you can work like an entrepreneur? So, but Dr. Vinay, I remember our first journey. The first meeting, you told me that you wanted to move, or you wanted to become an entrepreneur from an educationist. And I remember your statement, and a lot of people talk about that, a principle with a different principle. And let's talk about that leap, because what made you decide to become an entrepreneur after 27 years in education system, and probably what different principle you were talking about being a principal. Can you share how you reached out to me with that thought process, and how Soulful Smiles was born after that?
Yes, I remember when we met. It was all about a seminar and coffee, and coffee with parents. I just did that one today. It really felt great once again being there with the parents. But I always felt that if this has to grow, it has to grow, or the scale has to be beyond the walls of the school. There are a lot of restrictions what we have, and entrepreneurship can only offer you freedom to design different things, to do a lot of things, to model out, to reach out to a lot of communities, not. And I also understood with a lot of reading that entrepreneurship is not about just doing a business, but it is solving a problem, so addressing a gaps
Absolutely.
and solve a problem. So I thought, when I couldn't be inside a system and solve, maybe I'll try solving it being outside the system. It's hard though, but yes, nothing is impossible if you think. And as said, when we met and I just felt that we have a shared dream of creating a space where learning can be joyful. Your dream and purpose was also skill, when my dream and purpose was smiling with a skill. So learning was joyful and yes, inclusive, and it was a lot more sustainable so far. And together we imagined something which we are in life today, and that is Soulful Smiles. A place, I'll say a house where children thrive through not only preschool, after school support, and more or less, majorly, I feel it's a value based learning which we are looking forward to. I always feel that this Soulful Smile should become a bridge for the parents, for the educators, who can always partner together in the journey of building their child. Because I believe that if we both together, when I say we both, that's educator and the parents, when they both grow, work together hand in hand, it's all that they can give that wings to the child who wants to fly in the sky.
Lovely. And Dr. Vinay, I think I remember my time when I shifted from a corporate mindset to entrepreneur mindset, and to eventually it became to a venture capitalist today. The biggest challenge which I faced was the mindset, because when I was in job, I used to have so many other people. I used to do only one small part of the job. Even being a leader, I was not supposed to do everything, probably manage everything, but not supposed to do all those things. But even then, when it comes to the large organization, I was not doing everything on my own. But when it comes to the entrepreneurship, I literally had to broom myself at times. I literally had to be there every time in for my business, whether my employees are there or not. I had to be there. And I'm sure we have, I'm seeing that we have also faced similar those challenges while building up this school, because I'm living an entrepreneur life with you again now, and feeling all those, reminding me all those days. But what challenges personally did you face in transitioning from an educationist, having a proper job, to an entrepreneur, and working on your own without any proper salary? And how did you overcome them, especially from the mindset point of view?
As you said, na, rightly said. Uh, I'll say that mindset itself is the biggest problem,
Absolutely.
because shifting from that, that structured school environment to something which is very unstructured, something which is very uncertain, and I do not
There is
know.
nothing. There is nothing available there.
Yeah, so for me, like almost decades I spent with a thrived structured systems, rules, resources were very well defined for me. And suddenly, when I stepped into an entrepreneur journey, in our education, I'll say in a teacher language, it is called as, we have a blueprint for a question paper or blueprint for anything we do. I had just a blank canvas and lot of uncertainty with me. So I was totally hassled, and I just didn't know where and how to, but I just had to learn skills that was completely new to me. When I say suddenly, there was something new to me. And when I say numbers, no, maths is my favorite subject. Throughout my lifetime, I taught maths. I made maths easy for a lot of students. But for me, budgeting, fundraising, managing things of budget and finance became a biggest challenge for me. And this environment of startup itself, understanding the regulations of startups, even, uh, I'll say to a lot of extent, marketing, which was a huge challenge for me, or vision, transforming that vision to the parents and telling them, in fact to the investors, at times it was all a new language. It was all like I was running, or I'll say I'm still running, a marathon every day. The only thing helped me uh, to overcome these hurdles which were surrounding myself is the right people, or I'll say the right mentor. I'm thankful that I got one of those important members as you, who has actually trusted, believed me, and helped me to walk through this entrepreneurial journey where no one else believed me up that. So I feel the mentors, if you have a right mentors with you, then you can build the ventures from a scratch, and you have a proper vision and mission, then you can. But yes, uh, so going back to something that is called as a student mindset from a principal was really, really very this giving me like attending those workshops, doing those marketing calls, reading something randomly, all of these were, and seeking honest feedback, taking a feedback, which was again a biggest challenge for me, as you have mentored me, so you would agree to that. But above all of this, I always learned that I see these challenges are only a roadblock. Maybe I may not be able to design a unicorn as you have taught me up to, but I'm sure that I would be able to design some kind of opportunities with each obstacles, whether it is financial, whether it is operational, cultural, thought mindset, everything. Uh, because of me, I know you have actually many a time changed or were forced to redefine the model, strengthen the purpose, and change yourself. But I feel we have just grown as leaders, and that mindset has turned an uncertainty, a space of uncertainty in the month of May, I feel, to a space of innovation today.
Lovely. And I think you beautifully explained, and it's a very heartfelt explanation because I remember many of the times we also fought. We had different, I would say we have differences of opinion. How can this work? I have no structure. And suddenly I say, that's how it works in an entrepreneurship journey. And there are times I've seen you, literally working on the ground, even, kind of doing the cleaning and other stuff, even cleaning the helping the children to change their diapers, cleaning their their everything, washrooms and things like that. You have done all of that, and that is the true spirit of an entrepreneur. That is the true aspect. Whenever there is a challenge with respect to finances or thing, you have come across and said, okay, let me just figure it out, the money from where it can be there. You've been there. There have been struggles, there have been there have been difference of opinions. So it's always been a joint spirit. See, no entrepreneur can work alone. They always require people to support them. And of course, has to be a guiding force who will understand. Because first, that is where the design your unicorn methodology comes in, wherein in the first 21 days, you just make your mindset and create a blueprint for your business. That is easy because that is just an idea converting into a blueprint on that, which
I
we
did,
do.
to be frank, the one homework which you gave, this blueprint I created, but
Exactly, but and that looks very good and rosy on the picture, in that blueprint, and it looks, oh, it is doable, it is definitely possible. But the real challenge comes in is the next 21 weeks. That is where we call it as 21 weeks of business adaptability program, because that is where the real challenge or the business testing grounds comes in, where you actually start establishing the product. You see whether this product will run or not, whether the customers will come or not, and you will have to keep pumping money without expecting any amount for you. And you have your own family life as well. And here the challenge of mindset transformation comes in, because till now we were getting paid for every work we were doing. Now suddenly we are supposed to pay someone else and not bothering about ourselves. We are not getting paid. And that's the mindset change which it happens. I'm not saying that doing job is bad, but it's a mindset which is a problem. I also have went back into the job because I could not survive my 7 business. I lost 7 businesses in 7 years, and I had to go back to the job to survive myself. And everybody, I see many of the entrepreneurs doing that. There's nothing wrong in it. It's only about that you have to understand that when you get into the business, you cannot expect salary for yourself. In fact, my father always used to tell me this. पहले साल business सिर्फ पैसा मांगता है. You will just put in money in the first year. The second year, you will actually be able to break even. Maybe you will not be putting more money. The third year, you will actually start making money. And that is actually the truth. If you see our Soulful Smiles, we have been actually putting in money this year. And if your structures are right, if your we call it as there are 4 areas, 7 pillars, and 105 factors which can make or break the businesses. If you put in those 4 areas very structuredly in the first year, you can actually do a break even. And that is what which we are able to do it at this point in time. And that is what it is very critical. But if you miss those 6 months, which we call it as 21 weeks, then you are a problem. Then the next milestone comes of 21 fortnights, which is almost a year. So that is how the different journeys of a Design Your Unicorn program comes in. 21 days, 21 weeks, 21 days is only for a business modeling. But the vision, which is very important, which you will create. 21 weeks is for adaptation, to test it out, proof of concept. 21 fortnights is to bring it as a scalable systems. Then you work on a 21 months program and things like that. So that is how the entire journey of next 3 to 5 years, how you can transform your ideas into a billion-dollar company. But one of the most exciting initiatives which we have launched, and I really feel valued and very good that we have launched it together, this 50 lakh rupees of social venture fund. And not only that, the venture capital fund and angel investing masterclasses which we did across the country. Now tell me something about your experiences with respect to venture capital fund and being suddenly, probably you are the one who have jumped not just from an educator to a entrepreneur, but to a venture capitalist evaluation committee as well, immediately within that almost the same period of time. So tell me your experiences both as an entrepreneur, as an investor, and the angel investing meets. Can you also explain a little bit on the design of the fund for the social venture fund which we're talking about?
Firstly, I will explain about that, that jump between all the entrepreneurs, and initially it looked very enticing. It was very nice, but in some of the seminars and places where I was sitting there as, judging those startups, I really, really felt that pinch, and I really felt that how difficult it is.
Absolutely.
And it's not an easy job. It's very easy, and it's not an easy job on either sides. Either sides, when I say not an easy job for an entrepreneur, not an easy job for an investor as well. I
True.
was thinking, that side of the grass is always green, but only you come to know when you come on the other side. The other side is much more difficult. I feel that being an investor is much, much more difficult. I said, oh my God, how are we going to even identify that what is happening and what is it and what is not? How much viable it is, how much truthful it is, and everybody looking at you at that with that expected eyes, and you do not know. So these journeys were all quite a learning for me, and I can only say in a very nutshell about the social venture fund is that it's very simple and it's very inclusive. It's nothing like a big thing or something. That it's just that anyone can just come start with just 50,000 to 5,000 month for a year, and you can just earn a modest return of 10 to 20% annually. While the capitals and the funds which are there, right there, you not only get your capitals return slowly and steadily, but you also earn a lot of passive income. And at the same time, something which is much more bigger than that you earn, that you are delivering some impact or high quality education for those children who do not have their pin codes, as I said, not less than 100 children across there. So for me, it's just that you become an investor of who's making an impact, and not an investor who's making that profit for himself or herself.
So apart from this, personally, maybe for you, we are providing this free education to 100 plus underprivileged children every year, apart from the other children who could afford. Do you also see this model expanding to other geographies or sectors? And how do you think that right governance model can help?
Absolutely. I really feel that this thing can be grown up, and this framework can be adapted in several sectors, not only in education and impacting the children's life, but in healthcare sector, it can be used for skilling up different people, like, women, men, anyone, children, youth. or people with disability or something, where the skills can be given to them, where rural entrepreneurship can be done. We are starting with small to education, but the vision is not limited to education. As you know, we keep talking about a lot of things. So the vision is to inspire that similar funds can tackle other preceding needs or pressing needs of the
Health,
situation or time.
environment, other
Yes.
aspect. Maybe, there are so many issues of mobile toilets not available for women. There are issues of solar water pumps, or, for the farmers, or maybe solar electricity for them, and so many other things. Wonderful. And I think, I think I'll just not take too much of your time now. It's been a marathon of Bringle Talks today. Uh, but then one thing I want to understand, you've been in Rotary and you have introduced me as well there. And now you are a president elect, and next year you will be president of Bangalore, Rotary Bangalore Jeevan Bima Nagar. Uh, what I want to understand is, how does this Rotary governance, especially being transparent, most transparent organization at this point in time, is kind of helping in this entire aspect of social venture fund? And what do you think that entrepreneurship is going to be the core area when it comes to achieving Mission Zero or Vision 2030 we speak about?
Uh, See, the process or the thought of it's all about Rotary is, as I said, always, it's a more, and I understood from Rotary is it becomes more powerful when it is collective. And in Rotary, we have a lot of professionals who care about real and measurable change. So the Rotary's reach and the credibility combined together with entrepreneurship speed up. And now the entrepreneurship journey which I had been through, I'll say that's an entrepreneurial speed which can actually accelerate all the solutions for education, environment, and livelihood if we really work out through that, and lot of get a lot of similar mindset people together. And together as an Rotary, as in us, and entrepreneurship, what you say, that madness of entrepreneurship can create us to or help us to achieve this Mission Zero. And not just, in the name of employment, but I will say it's also in the name of that no child is left behind without an education. Where the opportunity which we can give is universal. We can give it to anybody and anywhere, in any Rotary clubs or anywhere.
Absolutely. And see, beyond education, Rotary, you are also a creator, the writer, composer, singer of our anthem, Awakening the Golden Bird. And we always relate this golden bird with the entrepreneurship hidden inside each of us. And that's what the story, the whole aspect of it. And that's such a powerful example of living your own philosophy of smile, dream, and achieve. So, what role does that creativity play in your leadership and impact journey? How does it feel to create and perform an anthem that represents a national and a global movement? And what legacy or a message do you want to leave out with your work to the entire world?
See, as said, when we were talking about this anthem, it was all about creating that bridge between the people, who are not able to understand that language. Shouldn't be restricted to only one place or community, but has to be spread far and wide. So I will talk about this. The leadership or the journey is only creating the bridge between that vision which we had for an action which we are doing. So let's imagine that this can be one of those solutions where we present it to people for them to be inspired and to join us. Anyways, music has always been very humbling, very soothing, and very nice, which actually I feel it always speaks heart. So when somebody is speaking heart, it's just crafting and something out of it. Like Awakening the Golden Bird allowed me to put our collective missions into words and melodies, and then that song derived. And of course, yes, with the blessings of Appa, I could actually finalize it a lot of times, canceling and coming ahead. But the only thing which I would want to tell to people around, and want to leave behind as a legacy through all of this is, while we build this several ecosystems which we constantly talk about, building schools, building funds, building communities, building entrepreneurships, etc., like, businesses, etc., uh, we will just try to keep empowering children and the families uh, along the way, whether we are there or we are not there. This inspiration which we pass on to them is nothing less than a legacy where this knowledge and kindness can only uplift and live for generation, where let this smile, dream, achieve, or rise and shine and achieve may become like a legacy for everybody.
Wonderful. Dr. Vinaya, thank you so much for joining us for this Design Your Unicorn Tuesdays. Your journey from 27 years of in education to founding Soulful Smiles to creating social venture fund to leading Rotary and writing our anthem is a proof that when passion meets purpose, the impact is limitless. You have shown that entrepreneurship is not just about building wealth, but about building lives, dreams, and legacies. And to all our viewers, this is exactly we started Design Your Unicorn Tuesdays to bring your stories, strategies, framework that can help you design billion-dollar businesses while creating meaningful impact. You can also watch 21 Days of Business Sustainability Challenge series in Design Your Unicorn playlist. Also check 4 weeks of content on the MSME and startup support, how to transform their ideas into a billion-dollar company. But join us every Tuesday, subscribe to Bringle Talks, watch it 10 minutes every day at 2x speed, and you will be able to 100x your growth very, very faster. So don't miss the chance to be part of this journey. Together, let's design our unicorn and awaken the golden bird. So let's speak loud. Jagao, jagao, sone ki chidiya ko jagao. हर घर तिरंगे के साथ हर घर सोने की चिड़िया को जगाओ. Let's awaken the golden bird hidden inside each of you. Rise and shine and transform yourself into a leader. Keep spreading the Bringle dream wave. Inspire others, help them to achieve their goals and dreams. Help them, motivate them to pass it on to each and everyone across the world. Thank you so much. Keep bringing, keep growing.